Well, good Monday evening, everybody. Project Die Hard here. Our host Zita is still out on her mission trip, so we are going to do our best to entertain you, inform you, and just let you know what's going on. I understand we're going to have a special guest coming on later. I don't know when, so we will sit here and just chat. Big news with Project Die Hard. It's with a heavy heart that I have to say Hope Stock 23 is canceled. That's right, canceled. Why, people are asking? Well, we work with the blessings we receive. And as you have been seeing, we have been working on forward operating base rush to get our occupancy permit so we can start programs. And after a lot of prayer and consultation from my board and a lot of wisdom seeking, it was just decided that without the community supporting to make Hope Stock what it can be, we have to move our resources to directly affecting our mission, which is bringing hope to veterans. And how do we do that? Well, we get our occupancy permit and we start programs. Uh, that's really the big news and the big update. We've got some stuff in the works. If you've been following our page, Project Die Hard 22 on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're everywhere. May 6th, the Veterans of Foreign Wars of Illinois, District 15, is coming to Forward Operating Base Rush. And when they get there that day, we're going to go over and we're trying to knock out some more stuff and give tours and all that. So, again, watch our Facebook page. We have the event. Uh, Folks, again, from my heart to yours, remember, I do not take a salary, but we have bills to pay. So, we need your help. We need you to spread the mission. Tell people about us. Become that monthly patron. That's the only way Forward Operating Base Rush is going to get completed. That's the only way we're going to house 12 single veterans and 2 veterans with their families, is if we get the support we need. Uh, that's about it. This might be another short update, just by the simple fact that we don't have a host and we got things to do. But in that, I see in a little green room here a little message saying I have to bring Christine up onto the screen. So let's do that, everybody. Hello, sister. How are you doing?
How are you, brother? God bless you for all the work you do.
Oh, I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
Tell all of our followers who you are first.
Well, my name is Christine Cisneros, and I am the host of the Confessional Radio Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW here in Seattle, Washington. I've been on the air for about 14 years, and excuse me, I am kind of a rare bird. I'm a conservative, Christian, Hispanic, gay female, and so there's quite a bit of controversy because Seattle is such a liberal place. But I think what needs to happen is more needs to happen that makes sense. And if we don't take care of our vets, and if we don't take care of those first responders, it's truly an autoimmune system disease problem in our country.
Sure is. Now, for all the followers, you know of my history. I joined the Army in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated from Shoreline High School. Yeah. And everybody goes, Seattle. Yeah, I was in a Navy family. What'd you expect? Okay. So, Christine, what do you think of our mission?
Well, first of all, let me say I'm so happy that it exists. There's quite a bit going on in our world, and there's so many people that are talking about diversity, but really it's division. And at the bottom, at the end of the day, especially when you think about what has just happened in Nashville, people trying to fight about it's political, it's religious. It's just, you know what it is? It's the loss of life. It's human to human. And we need to get back to that. We need to get back to understanding that if we don't take care of human, we got nothing. The most precious gift we're given, aside from, the redemption of Jesus Christ, is our lives. And if we don't take care of that and we don't appreciate that, then not only will we, I think, die a little uneasy, but we'll also miss out on all this time that we could be doing things in the face of what is difficult.
So true, so true. As a combat medic, right, I really strive. Life's very important,
Mm-hmm.
and hence why I started this mission because more of my brothers and sisters are losing their lives
That's right.
to the demon. And I call suicide a demon
That's right.
because that's the only way it can be explained on what causes suicide. It's
That's right.
demons.
Mm-hmm.
So, radio host, I'll handle you later. You know the job never ends, right?
What's that?
I just got a text message from somebody. I'll have to deal with them later.
Uh,
But radio host,
I also have a couple of
conservative,
calls. Yeah, I've
yeah,
got a couple of calls. My first call I've been doing for probably pretty close to 2.5, 3 years, somewhere in there, almost to three. And that's on Wednesday nights. It's the Calling All Patriots conference call. And people come on, and all these calls are free that I do, but they come on, and really the purpose of that and the call on Thursday, which is the love call, the love our vets and everyone who loves them. That call is a half hour long, and that one, both of them are designed to lift. To you don't have to participate as far as speaking, but it's really designed to lift. You say, and I think you're that is so spot on. I use it on the air now, which is succumbing to the demon called suicide. What some people don't realize is that if you are, there's this saying that suicide is selfish. Well, I think that being selfish in this world is suicidal. That's what I think. And I think if we're not going to share the one thing that we were given freely and made out of, which is the love and the light of Jesus Christ and God, then, why are we here? I mean, really, why aren't we texting from heaven or something, or using our devices and not being people with each other? So these two calls, the call on Wednesday is about an hour and a half long. Both start with a prayer, end with a prayer, and they're really there to just, it's not about teaching people necessarily, it's about reminding them of their design, that God made them into this that is to be with each other in his love and light.
so true, so true. We were so blessed that we were able to bring back our fellowship breakfast here
Mm,
in Paducah, Kentucky. It's the first Wednesday of every month, so we got that coming up this Wednesday.
mm,
And yes, this is a time for everybody to come together,
mm,
have breakfast with an American hero, right?
mm-hmm.
To
That's right.
fellowship, to get together, to get in person.
Yeah,
Uh, I see a lot, we're on social media just because we have to be, we're trying to get our message out there.
sure.
And I see a lot on social media, everybody wants to sit behind a green screen or sit in
Mm.
front of a green screen. Um, I'm really opposed to that because if you can't show what's behind you, you know, that's just, That's why I think it's so hard for nonprofits to get anywhere nowadays because people
Hmm.
don't know what's real.
Yeah, for sure.
Now I
And what's real
know,
is extremely important because there's more blurring of that line. Some people say this shooting in Nashville was a false flag. Maybe so, but you know what? Real life goes away. Real life gets taken.
yeah, again, that's something was
Let go of
very,
the cosmetic.
it's very tragic. But here at Die Hard, we don't get into politics. We don't get into the he said, she said, thee, that, thee, but no, we
Sure.
don't play that. We're here for God
That's right.
and for veterans.
Yep.
That that's it.
That's right.
If you're not here to help, then I don't. Hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well,
We
what's really interesting about this Nashville thing and other things is that vets have stepped up and said, "Hey, we want to help out. We want to help protect. We want to stand guard." And why? Because it isn't about politics. It's about human, and they know that, and that's why they're volunteering their time. They don't want to get paid. They just want to protect life. Because the best message that you can send out there when you say things like "protect the vets" or "take care of them," whatever, what you're actually saying is protect life that has protected you, your life.
again discussions I have all the time. Right?
Yeah.
Why should I help your mission? Because your property is in McKanda, Illinois, and I'm just going to take Seattle for because you're here.
Yeah,
I
sure.
live. I live in Seattle. Okay. Well, I, as a veteran, didn't fight for Seattle or McKanda, Illinois, or Paducah, Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
or wherever. I fought for the nation.
That's right.
There were no borders,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I had to remind somebody the other day that God's kingdom has no borders.
That's right.
So if you're living here, why should you support us? Well, we don't sugarcoat things. We've been financially transparent since day one.
Mm-hmm.
God will never leave the mission. Uh, in a veteran, the easiest part of this whole mission that we're doing is if a veteran is in Nome, Alaska, and needs to come to McKanda, Illinois, because they want the help, they need the help, is
Mm-hmm.
getting them there. That's the
Mm-hmm.
easiest part of the whole equation. Yeah, that's where I think the big miss disconnect. Everybody's worried about my backyard.
Yeah, in Seattle we call that NIMBY. Not in my backyard.
Mm,
Right. So the real thing that I think I take inspiration from Project Die Hard is that a lot of people talk and they talk, and I'm in talk radio. Okay, they talk and they talk and they talk, but you rarely see action, and you rarely see things that are going to actually affect life tomorrow in a constructive, positive way. And so, instead of the focus, like you said, oh, we don't talk about politics, we don't go these things, great, because really the focus is let's put that energy and that time and that God given moment of life or moments of life into that which is actually going to make a difference tomorrow. And the biggest difference that you can make tomorrow is by protecting the area that you raise life in, and that is the whole planet. And basically, America holds up the rest of the world, in many, many ways. So when you are really becoming a servant of God that is serving your brother in the situation specifically of veterans, what you are actually doing is you are affecting people all over the world.
I thank you for that. I totally am humbled by it. But yeah, Wow, that was really good. I had an answer to one of your statements. I lost it.
Oh,
Okay.
that's okay. It'll
Well,
come back.
this is live, so
Yeah,
again, we don't pre-record anything here. We just jump onto it, and whatever happens,
it's real.
it's real. It's in your face. Oh yes. A lot of questions we have. How come we don't see the veterans you're helping?
How come we don't see them?
Well, no.
Oh,
Directly, how come Project IR doesn't put the veterans that we are helping out on
hmm,
social media, out on this and out on that?
privacy.
Yes,
Hmm. And
privacy.
yeah, and I think I know a lot of people who I've known almost my whole life who don't want to be recorded. They just don't.
Well, as I like to tell people, we here at Project IR will not use the suffering
Mm.
of my
Mm-hmm.
brothers and sisters to further our cause.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right.
Yeah. It's not right. It's exploitive.
Yeah. And I see so many others doing it, right? I'm not going to throw names out there because that's not my nature, but you see the commercials,
Sure.
right? Uh, when our veterans are ready to tell their story, they'll have every opportunity to do so.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Some may never, and I'm cool with that. Uh, what
Yeah,
really
my
breaks,
brother's a veteran, and he it's very hard for him to talk about what he's lived through and what he did 3 tours in Iraq, and I don't push it because when he's good and ready to talk about it, he will.
yes, I had that discussion the other day with
Mm-hmm.
another person was we don't talk about it to the ones we love because we don't want them to feel that pain.
Mm-hmm. Right. I
But
see.
but when your brother reaches out to me, we can talk all day long
Right.
because we've both been there. We've both done it. I'm sure he's got the same T-shirt I got. You know what I mean?
Right.
And again, this is what our facilities are there for.
Yes.
So a veteran can come and let off steam,
Yes.
surrounded by their brothers and sisters, with no judgment, no pomp or circumstance,
Mm.
right?
Right.
Just, hey, hang out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I've heard. I mean, I lost my niece when she was 4.5, and sometimes you hear people say, "Oh, I know exactly how you feel." It's like, no, you don't. And I can't pretend like I know exactly how my brother feels. I don't know. And you really, it is something to be able to connect with people who understand at least some fundamental things that both of you have gone through. Um, it is a very different conversation than most of us know how to have. And I say this on the love call that it is for everyone because we don't know what that's like, but we can support because this is now a cooperative thing where we take care that you've taken care of us. It's a cooperative thing for us to do what we can do to take care of you and to take care of the vets that have served our country and our first responders. This is not a time to be, trying to be. And I understand what you're saying. There are a lot of people who want a lot of the pomp and circus pants, right? But you, it's, that's not real. That's makeup. And, I'm happy to say I've funded my show for 14 years. I pay for these calls. And you know what? I get paid. You know how I get paid? I'm going to die peacefully.
I, again, I do not take a salary,
Yeah,
right? I don't do this for fame. I don't do this for riches.
right.
I do this because my brothers and sisters need the help.
Yes.
I do this because God saved my life.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to him and went, okay, there's got to be more because you saved my life. I was in the church, I was on the security team, I was good, but there was always something grabbing in my heart saying there's got to be more.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the wife of one of my best brothers calls and said he's hanging in the garage, me and God got in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, got it. I did bad things. You forgave me. Great. But why did you let this happen? Right?
Oh, right.
We got in a fight.
Mm.
And I went, okay, so I'm here. What do you want me to do? And boom, Project I Heard was born.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
a lot of people can't comprehend that.
Right. Well, because the thing is that when you ask God a question, and people expect a certain kind of answer, or they want it to look a certain way, and we all have done that. However, the the availability when we make ourselves available to the Holy Spirit, when we make ourselves available to God, okay? I just said this recently. There are no healers in this world. There are none. The only healer that was ever human was Jesus Christ. Because God promised you your free will. And you know what? You know how I know that was a promise? Because He made you with it. He created you with that. Okay? So not even Jesus Christ interfered with free will. When He healed Legion in Mark, when He raised people from the dead, when He went around, what did He always say? Do you want to be healed? And some people already wanted that. They were already available. And so it happened. But there are no healers today. There are only people who will help you, like a doctor, maybe, to unobstruct, take the rocks and the glass out of your hand if you fell, so that your preemptive ability to heal, you don't even think I'm going to heal. You were created with the preemptive ability to heal in case something happens. And as long as you get out of the way of dirt, rocks, whatever, then your body is going to do this. As soon as you cut yourself, the platelets are happening, right? Well, that is a spiritual thing too. And when you say that some people have succumbed to the demon of suicide, unfortunately, that's because of free will. That is free will to allow yourself to be available for that invitation. Not that you're cognitively aware of it, but sometimes you're so completely pressured and have so much going on that you have a spot that is now vulnerable to that availability. And that's really, I think that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Not because I want to save anybody. I can't heal anybody or save anybody, but I can be that moment where the thing is kind of, the area, the wall is kind of weak, and I can just stand there and go, hey, let's have a chat, let's have a talk, right?
I,
Because in that split second, that's all it takes. And
I
I'm no
get,
healer, I'm no
well,
doctor.
again, on that same point, we're working on bringing back classes because we used to sponsor a class for people to come and learn about veteran suicide and PTSD and how to handle it and how to deal with it. But one thing I've always said to all the audiences I speak to is when you're in line at the convenience store or the grocery store and you see the person with the veteran hat or something,
Hmm.
and you
Mm-hmm.
go, hey, how's your day going?
Mm-hmm.
That's a loaded question
Yeah, it is.
because you might be that voice that they've been waiting for to hear,
It's right.
to go, let me tell you. So you better be able to stand there for a couple hours.
Sure. And that's, isn't that what the scriptures say? Where two or more are gathered, here comes the Holy Spirit, right? And
Mhm.
you don't know what that's going to look like, and you don't know how long it's going to take or what they're going to say. But what you do know is that you are not connecting on this kind of intellectual or, oh, I've got a PhD or whatever it is. You're connecting on the level of where the Holy Spirit comes through all of us.
Yes. Um, some people say I'm mean because when you come to our facilities to help veterans, uh, praise God, you're a PhD holder,
Yeah, right.
but you don't introduce yourself that I'm Dr. So and so.
Mm-hmm.
There's no heirs on our facilities.
Yeah,
You're a human being coming to help another human being.
that's right.
Okay?
That's right.
When you come and help, thank you, God bless.
Mm-hmm.
Come and help.
Right.
Pretty simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, as, as I said in the opening, we had to cancel Hope Stock. And it really breaks my heart to have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because last year at Hope Stock, 4 veterans came to Christ and 2 veteran marriages were saved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay? We in the hole. I got it. My bean counters tore me up. We're in the hole. I got it. But in my eyes, it was a great success because of those results. That's what Hope
Yeah.
Stock was for.
Right.
But again, prayer, seeking counsel through scripture, through my board of directors, people I hold close to my heart, the decision had to be made that we're not doing Hope Stock this year. We have to funnel all of our resources into
Mm-hmm.
starting programs at Forward Operating Base Rush.
Mm-hmm.
That's the priority. Everybody asks, well, why is it taking so long? Well, we operate on donations and volunteers.
Uh-huh.
Volunteer force hasn't been that responsive lately. I understand life is life. But this is where, when we ask people to become that monthly patron, right? I can hire people tomorrow if we had the funds
Mm-hmm.
to get the stuff done. done.
Well, I think sometimes, having done this, like I said, for 14 years and funding different things, what I would say is that the question I have come across from people over and over is, I would like to help, but I don't know how. Yeah, well, yeah, that's kind of a, I see that as a, well, then that's the first thing you got to do is figure out how to help, right? But if you take that out of it, if you remove the obstructions supposedly of I don't know what to do, and maybe it's true, maybe some people don't know what to do. Some people are, they feel so bad about it and they're like, well, anything I would do wouldn't make any difference. I've heard that too. But here's the thing is that you are providing people with something that is, yes, it's helping vets, but you are also providing something to people that maybe could be emphasized, which is so many people don't know what they can do. Let us help you with that.
Oh, again, when people say that, well, I don't know what to do. Well, here's a list. Do you know how to
Mm-hmm.
drywall? you know,
Mm-hmm.
I got a list. But and then the people that say, well, everything I could do would be so small.
Uh-huh.
Well, when a bunch of little small things get together, it becomes a big thing.
What is that Aesop's fable where the bird can't drink the water because it's too low in the glass, so he starts putting pebbles in, and suddenly he can drink because now there's enough pebbles for him to drink? I mean, the tipping point of everything is dependent not on us, it's dependent on God. But if we listen to the direction Because I'll tell you this. God's will always gets done, and you know that.
Oh
It
yeah.
always gets done. So if we want to have the fulfilling life at the end where we have the peace and along the way have the peace, right? Then what we do is we align with that frequency. It doesn't have anything to do initially with instructions or blueprints or some kind of architecture. It has to do with you followed your heart and then God gave you instructions. So if you appeal to the humanity of the heart, like this is our heart coming together here. This has nothing to do with anything else except we are working to do God's frequency with each other. We're inviting you, and maybe you don't know what to do to help, but we've taken that, we've made that not a non-issue because we have what you can do. And sometimes it's money. Sometimes people are like, I can just do money. I can't show up and work on something. I mean, I live in Seattle. I'd love to come and hang and do that, right? But the deal is that if I can send money, great. If I can send resources, great. If I can send a vendor that has a surplus of something, great. Whatever it is, I promise you, if a 9-year-old girl in the Nashville shooting could pull on the fire alarms around the school to save her fellow classmates and go down like that, and she has no police training, no first responder training, all she is doing is trying to save human life. If she can do that, we all can do that.
I again, the first thing we ask everybody to do is pray for our mission. Go unto God and say, please help these people.
Yeah.
Second is share our mission.
That's right.
Tell people about Project Diehard. Okay?
Yeah.
We
At
know
the very
God,
least. At the very least.
we know God is out there, right? God has that person out there that could write the check and
Mm-hmm.
forward operating base rush is complete.
Right.
And they don't want fame, they don't want fortune, they don't want, well, you have to do this, you have to do, no, they don't want any of that. They just, right, I can't be there to work because I work, but you know what? Here, go to work. That's that
Mm-hmm.
person that you could reach.
Right.
Third is volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, volunteer. We have what we call our Give Back Day, the second Saturday of every month. So you're in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Great. The second Saturday of every month, volunteer for Project Diehard. What does that mean for you? Take some time on the second Saturday every month and do a Facebook post and share our mission. Get a little group together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do a Zoom call.
Sure.
Hey, I bet you if I push hard enough, I can get Brian to hop in here and talk to us,
Sure.
right?
Right.
That's volunteering for anybody,
Right.
for anybody.
Yeah.
Third is become that monthly patron.
Yeah. And you don't have to pick one. You can pick all of them. You're not
Again,
restricted to one.
but this is the order we ask it for. But you see where we're
Right. Yeah.
at, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We understand people's money is it's tight,
Yeah. Sometimes.
right? But no matter what amount, when you can say I can give $5 a month,
Mhm.
I can give $10 a month. I can't give the 22 because that's not my budget. But I can give 10. That's $10 that we can actually put to a bottom line, and then we can budget with.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not really it's not very complex. It's just a matter of, you know, I would just say it's a matter of listening to your heart. Because if you really do listen to your heart, it's going to come up with something that you can do. And
Again,
if and I think people are very I would have to say myself included, I have been this way in the past, which is it's so difficult to um, talk sometimes to vets, I think, for people because they know that horrible things happened. They know that there were sacrifices. Just like it's hard for people, people would rather kneel at a stadium than talk to a Gold Star family because that's more convenient. It doesn't involve you, getting involved with emotions or things that you kind of know in your heart are occurring. Just like with this shooting at the school, at any school, they should have a room, a safe room that adjoins to 3 classrooms so that everybody can just load in there and shut the doors. You know that there are architects, that there are contractors, that there are drywallers, that there are people that would volunteer their time. But if they can't have an organized way of doing it, they're not going to. You are providing an organized way for people to do something so that what's in their heart doesn't become something that is really painful because they're not doing it.
I agree with you. There's a lot of good-hearted people out here,
Yeah, well, God doesn't
but
make evil people.
but in that same retrospect, I'm right up the road from Nashville, and we've already gotten reports of people trying to take advantage of that situation
Sure,
to scam people.
that's what it's for. It's a false flag, but you know what? People die,
Yeah,
and
it's
that makes it just horrific.
but
So,
that just sickens me that the good people out there trying to do the good things now have to compete with that.
no, you don't compete with that. Jesus died for people who were murdering him. I mean, he could say, "Oh, I've got to compete with these people's ideas about why I'm dying on this cross," but he didn't. Just that's our test: is continuing to do the right thing. And we mess
Oh,
up. I've fallen my face, but you know what? You
oh, I
get
do
up
too.
and you got to continue to try to do the right thing. Because if there's nothing else I know in this world right now, and I don't think I would have said this maybe even 3 years ago, but what's going on in this world right now is either you are trying to follow God or you're getting a paycheck, attention, and you're following the devil. It's really that simple. And maybe you don't know. Some people don't know that, oh, if I do this, I'm kind of following the devil. Well, then you find out. And then what do? Got to do something different. We have how many vets dying every day by suicide?
Last Wednesday we were at 45 a day.
45 vets dying every day from the demon of suicide. And I'll tell you, it's not like I've never been in my life close to that, close to checking out when I was younger. I had a friend, she never once said anything about suicide, but she would come over every day and take me to have a Caesar salad and go watch a matinee at the movie for like a couple of weeks. She sensed it. We can all sense it. But instead of turning away from that difficult and problematic situation, are we really going to be okay as humans dying knowing we did nothing?
Again, it's not an easy question to ask, but you got to have the internal fortitude. When I'm
Well,
talking to when I'm
it's,
talking to my
sorry.
brothers and sisters, right?
Uh huh. Yeah,
Depending how that conversation goes, I look in the face, brother. You gonna hurt yourself, sister? Are you
yeah,
gonna hurt yourself? And
right.
it's not a clinical thing. It's look, we're having this discussion, and you're
Yeah,
worrying me.
yeah, heart to heart.
I need to know this
Mm-hmm.
because I need you here tomorrow.
That's right.
If you're checking out, hey, let's talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, a stat I put out. It's a general stat, but less than 1% of this nation puts on a uniform, right?
That's right.
But we make up over 20% of all suicides.
Wow. Yep.
I
And
hate suicide. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. I just specialize in my brothers and sisters. But 20, we make up over 20% of the nation's suicides, and 1% of this nation puts on a uniform. I think there's a
Yep.
problem there.
The it's it's a problem, uh, but I think it's wise to look at it as a challenge, because when people say problem, they're like, oh, I'm not specialized in that, or I don't really know how that works, or maybe I felt that way and I don't want to revisit it. And so to look as a challenge, you know, we all support who we support in our government or in our local whatever. But the deal is there's no politician and there's no preacher and there's no church and there's no anyone that can have your relationship with God and your relationship with the people around you. You are the only one that can do that. And so, with that in mind, you know, it's when you really think of it in those terms, that you're the only one that maybe this vet will talk to today. You're the only one that'll see him. Maybe. Then that changes things, doesn't it? You're not waiting for someone else to do it. You're not waiting for a politician or some kind of, you know, preacher that acts like a politician. You're not waiting for, you know, other people to notice or ask questions, or for the emergency personnel to come in once this person has attempted it. You're not waiting for that, because you know that you're the only one that can do what you are to do in your shoes at that moment. There is no one else.
This is why we do, when we do our fellowship breakfast, we invite everybody. We buy the veterans breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Veteran eats for free, but this is not strictly for veterans. This is for everybody to come,
That's right.
right? Because you might meet that one veteran that you hit it off with, and you start talking, and they open up, and you open up, and they've done this, and next thing you know, a friendship
Yeah. A
blossoms,
connection.
a
Yeah.
connection, right?
Yeah. And I think things like AA, or, you know, all of the AA groups, Al-Anon and all that, those are great because you can get a sponsor, and, you know, that's awesome. But the deal is that, you know, that why wait till somebody has an addiction problem? Why wait till somebody is acutely suicidal? Why wait till somebody can't get off of painkillers? Why not ask them questions that maybe put just a moment between them and that next step of becoming more acute? That is, I mean, there is, I don't believe there really are heroes. I believe Jesus Christ was a hero, and we all emulate that. And I mean, if we do, if we try to. But the deal is that, you know, if we do that, we feel that heroism that was passed down by Jesus. We feel it, because it's not about being above somebody. It's about being laterally connecting through the heart. And when you say that the breakfast is not just for the vets, it's for everyone. Well, yeah, that's what the love call is. Everyone. Why? Because everyone working together is a lot. What is that saying? I'd rather 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of my own, especially as imperfect as I am. So when you think when you think about it, if you had 1% of people's effort, how much better they feel as they serve, and how much better those who have served feel. It's time for all of us to serve, because that right there is what Jesus told us to do, and that is the heroism that all of us can enjoy.
In total agreement. In
Yeah.
total agreement. As I tell everybody that wants to step up into a leadership role within this organization, I ask them the simple question first: do you have a servant's heart?
Mm.
And when they go, well, what's that? Well, they don't bother, Chief. You're
Mm.
going to stay a volunteer for a while. If you can't answer that,
Right.
you know, I have a
Well,
servant's heart. You have a servant's heart.
yeah. Maybe a better question is, ready to have a servant's heart?
Yeah, good
Are you
question.
ready? Well, what does that mean? What does it mean to you? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the scriptures say that no one knows the heart but God, right? But that doesn't mean that we're excused from developing. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't encourage other people who maybe they are, like emulating selfishness or narcissism or whatever it is. But part of our work is to call them, to call their good, the good in them, their good nature that God created them as. People, they don't understand that God didn't make evil people. People choose that. That's what makes it a heartbreak. Because if they were created evil, oh, well, they're evil. Well, then you just let them off the hook, didn't you? You're just not, when what you're doing to future generations, you're saying, well, you can't possibly do better than that because you come from an evil lineage. Well, then what? Well, then why would anybody try? The only one that cannot pray himself out of the situation is the devil. That's it. Everyone else has got to be encouraged to come to that which God designed you as.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, short of reconditioning camps.
yeah. But it's coming of your own free will.
That's right. Well, that's all you ever do.
Yes.
You don't do anything else but free will. That's why you can't blame God for anything.
Well, I have people. Look, you're going to give every veteran a Bible that comes to your facility. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Well, what if they don't want it? That's not up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is, here it is.
Yeah. Basic instruction before leaving Earth.
Here you go, right? Use it. Great, brother. Have
Oh,
questions?
you want to fly? You want to fly that Cessna? Well, wouldn't you like to have a little instruction book?
Yeah,
Really?
but people are like, well, that's pushing it down their throat. No, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sitting there telling them to read a chapter every day.
No, you're offering them something.
That's it.
Yeah, it's an offer. Jesus isn't
That's,
going to force you to take his redemption, but it's there.
mm-hmm.
And if the guy, on the cross next to him said, please, Lord, remember me when you get into your kingdom. And Jesus is like, I say to you, this day you will be with me in paradise. Why? Because that was instant. The man wanted to have that experience of God and Jesus Christ. And it was right then. The paradise was right then.
A thief, a criminal who never
Yeah,
met Jesus before,
right.
right?
Yeah,
And Jesus went, come on, dude.
yeah,
Come on. Check this out.
yep.
Right? I mean, that rolls me back to that, the heirs of people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because a lot of people bash me because I treat everybody here.
Right,
I God tells me, says, treat people this way.
right.
The Bible tells me this. Okay? Not to lift a brother or sister above one another.
Right. And definitely don't, as the scriptures say, don't lift the creation above the creator.
No, never.
I mean, Jesus said that no one comes to me, no one comes to my Father, our Father, but through me. Not John Travolta in Scientology or Catholicism or the Pope. No,
Uh,
it's through Jesus. It's just through Jesus. However you want to do that, but it's through Jesus Christ.
yes.
I mean, that's the pure. That's the only way. Really, there is no other way.
Uh, yeah. Well, we got to start wrapping this up.
Sure.
But
What a great conversation this close to Easter.
what would you have to say to my brothers and sisters that are going to watch this now, watch this in the future? What words would you say to them to keep them going?
There is no greater love than one who will lay down his life for his brother. And what we know is that there was no greater love than what Jesus Christ exemplified. He was the example. But what you've done as a vet, as a first responder, as those who are serving our country and ultimately humanity, is that you have emulated that and you have made an example so that we can actually look at that and go, okay, how can I be cooperative? And I think that sometimes I think about how I didn't serve and I wasn't a first responder and I wasn't somebody like that. But you know what I can do and what people around me can do and I really want to do. They really want to, whether they know it or not yet, that they want to be cooperative with you in what you emulated. And so, what I would say to you is thank you. And what I would also say is please allow us to do that. Please encourage us to do it. Please ask us for things. Please ask us questions because we are not experts, most of us. But one thing that we all are, and that is children of God, and we feel empathically your pain, your happiness in some ways, your bravery. Please allow us to serve you as you've served us. Because if you allow us to do that, then you are allowing us an even greater part of the kingdom.
Okay. Lovely. Love it. Love it. Now tell everybody how they can find you. Uh,
Sure.
your website, your Facebook, your Instagram, the radio station.
Sure. Well, my
Uh,
show, the Confessional Radio Show, is on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. That's Kite Northwest. If you are in Western Washington, you can tune in on an old-fashioned radio, which I have, or you can go on the internet and listen to me live at 1150kknw.com. I air 3 to 4 p.m. on Sundays. It's a live show. I DJ'd in Seattle for over 20 years and I use music. I have a 40,000 LP collection, so it's a lot of fun in some ways. Also, you can find my work on Rumble. My Rumble account is Confessional Close Up, and also on YouTube, which I rarely put anything on YouTube because everyone knows why. But that's also Confessional Close Up. And my two calls that I do during the week, besides that, are the Love Call, and that is on a free conference call. If you want that information, you can go to Rumble. I have invitations there. Also on YouTube for that. And then that's for half an hour, and that's on Thursdays from 5:30 Pacific Standard Time to 6 o'clock p.m. Wednesday call is the Calling All Patriots for Humanity call, and that is also at 5:30. And you can go to Rumble and see that invitation. That goes for an hour and a half, and both calls involve prayer, and both calls involve totally delving into the Holy Spirit and lifting, because we all need to be with each other now, and we really do want to do that.
okay, so 5:30 Pacific time. You're really close to my bedtime, girl.
It's a tug of war. I get people from Hawaii saying, "Come on," and people from New York going, "Come on," how
I,
can I be awake at that time? But
I, I,
the
I,
good thing is it's half an hour on Thursdays.
yeah, I have literally been up at 1 o'clock in the morning to be on a Zoom call.
Oh wow. Wow, that's dedication. Yeah, well, I'm a night owl, so I'm not going to take any credit.
No.
My usual bedtime is 2 a.m. and I get up at 10, and that's how I roll. But in any case, and if you want to get in touch with me personally, you can. My number is 206-920-3640. My email address is m like Mary, Christine, CHRISTINE, at confess the number two bless.com. So mchristine at confess the number two bless.com. Feel free to reach out. If you want to give a prayer request and you don't want to speak on the call, you can email me and I'll say your prayer on the call.
Again, that's an offer to my brothers and sisters watching it. See, here's another sister who's never put on a uniform,
Definitely.
who's never put on a uniform, wanting to say, "Come on, I'll pray with you."
That's right.
We will make sure that Emily and Kurt, the team that run the podcast, gets all that information out there. But I thank you for coming on.
Yes, and we'll have you
Uh,
on too. I want you to come on to the radio show, maybe closer to Memorial Day. It would be wonderful to have you on. I love you guys. You guys, you're just doing the right things, and
we're doing our
God bless you.
best. We're
Yeah,
doing
for
our
sure.
best. Remember, if you're in the Paducah area, Paducah, Kentucky, Wednesday, IHOP Fellowship Breakfast. Okay? And for all my salty guys, especially my Navy guys, tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Paducah, at the Gold Rush Cafe. Come get your SOS fix. And remember to order the PDH on Tuesdays. That's another way people can support our mission. Uh,
Wonderful.
they can go eat, have great food, meet great people, and support, they support the mission.
And I've been putting the word out on my show every week. So,
Well, I
let's
appreciate it.
let's circle the wagons.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Wow. I thought it was going to be a short show. We're actually at time.
It's a
We
beautiful
will
thing.
say goodbye and we will talk to you all later. Bye
God
now.
bless. Goodbye.
And we're clear.